See you.
Okay. 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 I'm Jun Zeng from Intel. Today I'm happy to have the chance to talk about the proposal about using QLC SSD with DAOS, and this is teamwork. Uh, you can see here, Chaogang is from Intel. Uh, Yawi Liu Yawei and Liang Zhen are community members. Yeah. For today's topic, we just want to talk about the strategy, state, and the next plan about how to enable QLC SSD with DAOS. Okay, that we get started. First, I will introduce some background information to just to see that why QLC is needed for DAOS. First, we want to see that DAOS is suitable for current popular artificial intelligence and machine learning. We just want to highlight 2 points. The first is the scalability and the flexibility. You know that DAOS can be deployed from one node to thousands of nodes. And they here gave an example that the Islander in Aragon National Lab has thousands DAOS nodes and to get extremely high bandwidth IPS and capacity. The other point is the high performance. You know that DAOS is developed based on the SBDK to use NVMe can use NVMe in use space with high performance. So it maximizes the performance of NVMe SSDs. So no matter from the throughput, the bandwidth or latency, it had advantages. You can see the rank list from IO 500. The first 2 systems are based on DAOS. Yeah, let's go on. Secondly, we want to talk about the client side interface, which is easy to use for AI applications. As you know, most of the AI applications access the storage from through file system interface. For example, the POSIX interface. And the DAOS had the diffuse agent to well support the AI application to access the DAOS system, the DAOS storage without any change, just to access it with common interface. Besides that, the NavDFS library and the NavDAOS library also can support high efficiency and high performance API to access the storage. Also based on the LabDAOS and the LabDFS library, there are some plugins provided to talk with the common AI framework through TensorFlow or PyTorch. So it's very easy to use DAOS with AI application. Yeah. Next, we as DAOS is suitable for for AI framework, so you know that AI is so popular, and the AI workload needs a huge storage volume to store the data. So from this point of view, the whole huge explosive growth in capacity requirements will lead to the need of a storage, a very huge very huge storage volume in storage system. So we just want to see that QLC it will do better for storage system to get higher density to reduce their TCO. Yeah. Hey, we just gave an example about how to use QLC with DAOS in the storage system for AI. You can see from the left side, the top of left side, this is about the common data pipeline for AI process. No matter the preparation or the training or inference, they will have a huge demand and storage. Yeah. Yeah, for the training, we can save the date, save the checkpoint, and for inference, we may need to save the KV cache for currently popular KV cache reuse scenario. Yeah, as the requirement, we can put example here. You can see from the right side. Here is a brief example about AI cluster, GPU cluster. You can see we put two storage system here. One is among the head nodes. We can deploy DAOS with the resource on head nodes to work as a cache layer. You know that the CPU resource and the NVMe disk resource are often idle in most of the time, so we can leverage the resource to deploy DAOS as a cache layer. And the background and the backend, we also can deploy the DAOS with QLC to reduce the server number to provide the huge volume for and to work with the cache layer to provide storage for the GPU cluster. Yeah, from this point of view, from our point of view, we think DAOS the best for this scenario. Yeah. Previously, we just talked about why QLC is needed for DAOS system. And next, I will talk about how we enable QLC with DAOS. This page, we just talk about the architecture to how we do it. You can see from the picture, we just gave an example on the meet on SSD keys. You can see that hey, it's TLC SSD and the QLC SSDs. One point is the first point where I want to say is that we just add a new util for QLC. So that means QLC is not the replacement of QLC at this time. Currently, we think QLC is a supplement of TLC just to precise backdate. Yeah, we will talk about backdates later. And the TLC is still be used to store the small date. Also the date for a word lock, meet date, meet on SSD mode. Yeah. For the QLC, we just use separate allocation and the management and the metrics for QLC. Yeah. And here, the backdate, currently we define the backdate is which the size is larger than or it not equals to or larger than 64 key. Yeah. Here I put a link here just to show the design document, but we don't go through it here. You can see it afterwards. Then I want to explain the data movement more for the case when we add QLC. You know that when the data come from client side, we will judge the size of the I/O. If it's 994 key, then it will go to DRAM or ICM. If it's 64 key, but larger than 4 key, then it will go to TLC NVMe tier first. And if it's larger than 64 key, it will go to QLC NVMe tier. Yeah. Also, there is an aggregation process running in the background. It will try to aggregate data. And if the aggregated data size larger than 4 key, then it will transform from DRAM or ICM to TLC NVMe. And if the aggregated data size larger than 64 key, then it will transform to the QLC NVMe. Yeah. Currently, this design has some assumption and limitation. Yeah. First, I have said that the TLC NVMe is still needed for mid-data and NOC and small I/O. We just usually to work with QLC, not act, yeah, especially in made on SSD mode. And also the capacity convection ratio for TLC and QLC NVMe are not clarified yet. Yeah, when we try to create a pool with QLC tier included, then we will need to set the QLC size manually when creating a pool. Also, it's also a option that you can set the 0 for the QLC size just to not use the QLC tier. The last point is that when we try to deploy DAOS with the QLC NVMe, currently we just identified it through the raw config in mconfig file, just as shown here. Yeah, we have the current state is that we have submitted a preliminary PR. The PR number is 15044 last September, just to support the QLC based on 2.6 version code base. Yeah, here I put some picture just to show the test date we do last year. To see, you can see first is the DMG storage query command, and it will report the QLC storage information. And the second one is to create the pool with QLC tier. Yeah, just use this parameter to set the volume of the QLC tier. And the third one is that after run some workload, we run DMG pool query. You can see that there are 3 tiers. There are information for 3 tiers. Yeah. The last one is for QLC. Yeah, okay. Here about the next plan. Our plan just simple. One is to refine the QLC support PR based on the new code base in the coming time. And the other is to explore the more situation will enhance the solution for deploy DAOS with QLC in AI usage. For example, whether the 4 IU QLC SSD can be used, or whether it's possible to deploy DAOS with 1 QLC SSD. Yeah, I think that's my presentation. Okay. Any problem or any question?
Yeah, I have one question. So when you do a large I/O, which is a very large one, either a read or a write, let's say, does it go directly to QLC, or does it still return to TLC first and then migrated in the background to QLC?
When the I/O size is not enough, you can say if it's not enough for 64K, it will go to QLC directly.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. One point is that we don't have enough environment to test the performance yet. Yeah.
Makes sense. Thanks.
Okay.
I have another question.
Okay.
Do all of the nodes in the DAOS cluster need to have the same quantity of DRAM, TLC, and QLC? And then the second half of that is, what happens when one goes full? Like when I run out of TLC and I have QLC remaining, or vice versa?
Yeah. Let me answer the second question first. You see that here I pointed out the convection ratio for TLC and QLC is not clarified yet. The case you see that maybe the TLC run out and there are many QLC volume. Yeah, it's possible. For the use case here, we suppose that the TLC is small and the mainly the volume mainly QLC. So we need to identify the specific use case on the scenario to confine the volume ratio. Yeah. The first question is that during our test, when the volume for TLC and QLC and different nodes are different, it's okay to deploy, but when we're using the DAOS, for any nodes of for any engine included by a specific pool, the date on each node will be the same, I think. So even the volume for the NVMe is different, but from the pool size, it will use the I think it will work as the smallest one. I'm not sure whether I have took it clearly or not.
Yes, thank you for the answer. It's a good start. I think that there's more evolution that we would benefit from. But yes, I understand, and thank you for the answer.
Okay.